Monday Bully Live tonight. You already know what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the top American bully lies. Lies that have been told to every single one of us. Lies that a lot of us, unfortunately, have repeated because it was done to us. Lies like, let me give you a quick synopsis. I watched a top breeder actually sell a puppy as rare based on color. But here's the kicker. 6 months later, I get a call from the person that bought the pup. Turns out it was kind of one of those scenarios where the paint job sold the puppy, but the buyer paid for the vet bill. Let me just leave it at that. Tonight, we're going to be jumping right into this. Let me bring in Money Mizike. What's up, Money Mike?
What's going on, fam?
Hey, nothing much, man. Listen, you haven't heard any one of the lies that of the compiled list that I have of lies tonight, so I'm going to be shooting them at you. I really want to see what your first take is. Real quick, though, shout out to Nuvet Kennel. Let's go, ready to go. JR Barriga, the tripe smell was something else, Raul, but the dogs love it. Yes, green tripe is actually great for their gut, man. Hello, Bully fan from Zulema, Santiago. Today's live will be fire. No apto para cardíacos o personas sensibles. There you go. Jazz Bulldogs, almost time to set this one off. There, you got it, man. It's Serata. Good evening, everybody. We got Prater King Bullies. Good evening, everyone. QBN fam, you got it. New blood, evening, y'all. And we got Raymond Bulls in bed with the flu, but still had to tune in. See, that's dedication right there, Raymond.
I like that.
Nothing but love, man. Dracula, all the way from the UK, man. Yo, check it out. Check it out. One of the first lies, better yet, the first lie that I can think of that I put on my list is none other than rare color equals quality. Okay. It turns out that a lot of new people that come into breeding, they don't know, left, right, or even what's in front of them. So a lot of times they let their eyes kind of lead them, kind of like a child in the candy store, right? And a lot of times what ends up happening is these breeders that are breeding for color exclusively, they're setting traps. These traps are not for long-term breeders, medium-term breeders. They're mostly there for casual breeders and newer breeders. Breeders that don't know all the insights and outs, and that they're able to BS and, basically lie to them to the extent where, luckily, these last couple of years, AI has been coming around. But what I have found is that even AI, if you don't know what the hell you're talking about, AI will actually sit there and lie to you, BS you completely. And then when you challenge it, it turns around and says, oh, you're absolutely right. Excuse me. Let me take 2 steps back. And I was like, I've been surprised by that. I've seen the
same thing.
I purposefully will tell everybody, if you have an opportunity, something that you have ultimate knowledge of, something that you know, maybe what you work in or what you went to school for or whatever. Ask AI and watch it sit there and start BSing you. Outside of the generic, surface information, once it gets past that, it can start BSing you. So be very careful. We got Peter Stoiber saying, good evening, fellas. What's up, man? We got Shane Caress. What's up, Bully family from SDC Bullies LLC, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. We have Angel Severo. What it do, gentlemen? What's up, brother? Hello, everyone. All right. N572 saying, what's up? Steph BR saying, what's up? We got Brandon Hatch. Good evening, fellas. What's up, man? So, what I want to ask you guys, those of you that are watching, and even if you're not catching us live, I want you to drop it in the comments. I want you to drop the number of the lie, and I want you to tell me if you agree or disagree. But don't just stop there. Tell me why you disagree or you agree. So, Money Mike, I'm going to ask you straight up, man. Rare color does it equal quality?
Quality to me has to do with breed type, which has to do with the breed standard.
That's simple. Okay.
That's simple.
Okay. So can you have a dog that's got great standard or meets the standard, better yet, and has rare color?
Absolutely.
Okay. Does that make the dog more quality? Does it improve the dog in quality?
I'll say a good-looking dog with a good-looking coat, good-looking color is going to be more attractive than one that doesn't if the breed type's there, 100%.
Right. But answer the question the prosecuting lawyer is asking you, not the question you want to answer. Okay.
Right.
I'm not asking if it's more attractive to the eye. I'm asking, does the color of the dog raise the quality of the dog? That's what I'm asking.
Not to me, no.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. We all know if it's more attractive with the coloring, but the structure's there, then yes, it's a plus. But color alone does not improve a dog's quality. In fact, what it can do is decrease the dog's quality, right? So
it'll mislead you too.
If you had a dog that, say, was all white and was albino, so there's a lack of color, actually, right? Would you say that the quality of the dog is reduced at that point, Mike?
To me, it would be.
And why would you say that?
Higher risk for issues, health issues, the eyes, the ears, among other things. It puts the dog, put your program at risk if you're trying to use that as a breeding tool, for sure.
This is true. Another thing I will add to that, and it's a smaller risk, but it's a risk nonetheless. If you have a dog that's double dilute, right? We already spoke about it last week. You could actually lead to more allergy, dermatitis in dogs, and issues with their skin. Just keep that in mind. It's not the end of the world. You know, a lot of it can be fixed, but you do run the risk of increasing the chances for that. The next one that I want to show here, it's huge, is Merle is just a color. All right, so we're talking about colors. If you notice, this is all everything's gonna match up with the next thing that's coming on. But I actually had a guest here a while back. I forgot what his name was, but anyways, he claims that Merle is a color and that you can breed Merle to Merle. So
yeah, it seems like I'm having deja vu right now about all that.
Right. So, I want you guys in the chat right now, or if you're catching us on a replay, I want you to tell me if Merle to you is a color or if it's a pattern, kind of like freckles on a human being, right? Let me know that. And second of all, let me know if breeding Merle to Merle, if you agree with it or disagree. Give me your 2 cents, Mike, on that.
Yeah, well, I don't want to. You want me to answer even though they're going to answer?
Yeah. I want to hear what you have to say. Just because you think
Merle
one thing doesn't mean that.
Merle is not a color. Merle is a pattern.
Okay.
And like you said, we've had people on here with a difference of opinion. I wish I would have been on here that night. I would have loved to get in that debate along with y'all. But it's a displacement of color. Merle is a displacement of color.
Okay, so how do you know? And so I'm gonna push the envelope a little further. So how do you know Merle is not a color? What tells you about Merle, right? That it's not a color. What makes it not a color?
It's a pattern. It's a pattern in the coat.
Okay.
It's like a zoomed in focused area where color has been distorted. And that distortion of the color and the melanin is a pattern, and that's what it is. It's a controlled mutated gene, right?
Yes. Well, it can be controlled if you know what you're doing. Right.
It's also a dominant gene, and so you only need one copy of it.
There you go. You only need one copy of it to show. If you double up on it, you're going to displace more melanin or more color than you need. And what ends up happening is you can lead to hearing, eyesight issues, heart issues, kidney issues, because melanin is not only used for the eyes and ears, guys, it's used for the entire body. All right. So just because you think, okay, well, he's going to be able to see at night and that's going to be it. No, there's really a lot more to it than that.
Well, you know, Raul, if you're not careful where you get your information from, you know, if you just listen to anybody because they got a lot of YouTube views,
yeah,
or a lot of Instagram posts, and they're you know, I don't know, getting off of jets or whatever they do, and you think, this guy's got the answers, but you just don't know, man.
Hey, look,
unless you know.
Brayman Bulls, he couldn't agree with us more. He's reminding me of what somebody said here a while back. He said, Merle is a color. And remember, you can tell what genetic defects your dog has by looking at it, right? If you really listen to that or read that comment, by the way, Brayman is just being sarcastic. He's repeating what this person said a while back. If you really read this comment, you realize this is nothing more than a used car salesman trying to sell you a used car. There's just no other way around it.
A little justification in there too, if I'm not mistaken.
Justification in which way?
In a way where it's like, hey, I'm doing it, so it's okay.
Oh, trust me. Trust me. When somebody talks unethically like this, openly, yeah, right, and as convincingly, right, you can only imagine what goes on behind closed doors. Yeah. And I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, you know, just keeping it real, man. You hear somebody talking this language, if you're brand new into breeding, again, my guy here, he's just being sarcastic. He's repeating what somebody else said. It's really not him. But if you come across a clown that's telling you that Merle is a color, and remember, you can tell what genetic defects are by just looking at it, just know that if you buy anything off of that person, it's completely your fault, just straight up, because it's got so many bells and whistles and red flags. That statement alone, it's not even funny. Yeah. So Prater King Bully says, most definitely a pattern, and I believe we all know who the big name breeder was on here that said it was a color. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and keep stating his name. He knows who he is. But it's important that we bring it up because he has a big name in the breeding community, has been breeding for over 20 years, has a large following, and he had the goal, if you will, to say something as silly as what you're reading down here. So
I'm gonna give him a little hint, Raul.
No. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Nah, it ain't worth it.
I was gonna no,
it ain't worth it. But listen, but let me throw this out there. So because this cat, he's that shady. You were brought here as a guest, and that's why I held back. If you ever want to come on live and we could talk without any hold back, you're more than welcome. I'll bring you here and we'll have a conversation. I'm just letting you know. All right. DB Utes, hit the like button. You got it. Kalani Kipu question. So why don't Catahoulas have problems? I don't know about Catahoulas. I can only talk about American Bullies. I can't sit here and tell you I've spent the last 10 years breeding Catahoulas. I've been breeding American Bullies. If what we're saying doesn't apply to Catahoulas, or if what we're saying you don't see as being true, by all means, I ask that you go online and you fact check what we're talking about. By all means, challenge us. I'm never going to get offended if you're trying to challenge me. What I will get offended is if you use foul language or, you're just being stupid. But if you're like, hey, man, it says over here this, and you're saying that, by all means, bring it up, man. We have no issues with those types of challenges. Dracula's over here cracking up. We got Adam Fields. Good morning, Bully fam. He said, good evening, my bad. Frida Strivia, I remember that. She's cracking up. How's it going? What if my dog's father was Merle and he's just a tricolor lilac? Can I breed him with a Merle? Well, MJPC, that person that sold you that puppy, should have, at the very minimum, told you that you should be doing a genetic test on your dog to find out if it's a cryptic merle, which means it carries the merle gene, but it doesn't show it, or they should have done the testing themselves, one or the other. Okay. Do not breed merles and just let them go and say, oh, well, it doesn't look like it's merle, because that's how you can lead people to the wrong conclusion.
Of course, I can't speak to who he got a dog from, but I can say in general, as a general statement, that the Merle bully community is some of the higher end of the bully community when it comes to genetic testing. They're not
aware.
Always, but normally they're on top of it pretty good, obviously for a good reason. So
I love what Brahman is saying over here. He says, Brahman bullies, by the way, man, appreciate you. He says, do your own research. Don't follow the leader based on a following. That's one reason I'm so behind Raul, is because I personally have fact-checked you myself and read nothing but truth. There you go, man. And again, guys, there's going to be things that we're going to talk about that we may even be able to debate on. We might not agree on it, right? But, let me just tell you, I'm not going to just sit here and blow smoke at you because I'm over here trying to breed merle to merle and I'm trying to normalize it. That's not how we roll. I'm going to tell you from the get, like I always have, you never breed merle to merle. And merle is a pattern. It's not a color. I don't care what language your little book is that you're reading. Just keeping it real with you. Peter Stoiber says the reality is people need to embark. Even us old school guys see all the advantages of seeing the genealogy of each dog phenotype. Evaluation is an art, but now you can back it up with genetics. There you go, man. Listen, genetics is not the end all be all. It's a tool, okay? Just like a Phillips screwdriver. Phillips screwdriver is not going to fix everything in your car, only where it's able to fit. But if you didn't have the Phillips and all you had was a monkey wrench and you needed a Phillips, you see what I'm saying? Just use it as a tool. It's just something else you're able to add to your arsenal.
All right, another box to check.
That's it. We got Gustavo Vasquez. By the way, for those of you tuning in, man, my dude over here, Gustavo Vasquez, is the maker of none other than my boy, Blue Bizzle. Blueberry. That's it, man. Nothing but love for my dude over here, Gustavo Vasquez, out of Arco Bullies in Arkansas. We got Christian Idajeta, like I said. Merle is a mutation. All right, we're not going to get into all that head up, but if that's what you believe, bro, I can respect that, all right? The next big lie that you're being told, and let me set it up by telling you this, all right? And here's what they won't tell you about registries and Merle. All right. So let me go ahead and bring this up. All right. Merle is accepted by the ABKC, so you can go ahead and breed Merle to Merle. Yeah. This I did not believe for myself until literally this past week on Thursday. I actually saw a big time breeder telling this to somebody that wanted to buy a pup off of them. And it's not the same person that I had here that stated everything we said. This is somebody else. And he is saying Merle is accepted by the ABKC, so you can go ahead and breed Merle to Merle. Now, we had last year, I want to say about 8 or 10 months ago, we had ABKC President Dave Wilson. Kyle, do me a favor. Can you write down for us to get in contact with Dave Wilson, see if we could bring him back up in here? Because I really want to ask Dave, what happens, Dave, if somebody's trying to register a puppy and both parents are blotched? And that's what Merle, a dog that is Merle, that's how it's written down whenever you're putting in your permanent registration. It's blotched. I want to know what happens if mom is blotched and dad is blotched, if they're going to allow that to happen. And if not, I want to know what mechanism he has in place to be able to put brakes on that, because that's really something, we should all be striving for, to not be allowed, because you may get one puppy that has everything you want, but you're killing another 3 or 4. I don't know about y'all, but at least on this platform, nobody here is good with having to kill puppies, especially when you know beforehand you're going to have to kill them. I'm just saying. Brandon Hatch says the difference between money guys and the dog man. There you go, man. There you go. Brandon Hatch said it, not me. When it's about money, morals go out the window. And if you got to kill 6 puppies in order to keep one that has everything you want, that's usually okay for the people that are after the moolah. I'm here to say this. I've been breeding for 10 years. This is a business. I charge for my dogs. I don't give them away for free. I also learned my lesson. Okay, when I first started breeding, Mike, I had people coming at me with all different angles as to, you know, I broke my leg and my thigh and I did this, that, and the third, and can I have a free puppy? Never give away a free puppy. I have seen people grab a free puppy and completely devalue it because they paid nothing for it.
Yeah, there's no investment. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not vested at any level with that pup. So I learned that you got to charge. And I have been successful for the better part of these 10 years. And I will tell you this. You take care of these dogs are going to take care of you. There is no need for you to breed Merle to Merle in order to kill 2 or 3 pups, in order for you to get that one puppy that's got, now, trust me, it's really not necessary. Really isn't. So just giving you, Nicholas, it's the blueberry and girl hit. We don't know yet. It's day 26. So I'm sorry. No, I take it back. It's not day 26. I got it confused. It was done on the 8th. So do the math. We're 23 days, 24 days. We're around there. So we got to wait on that. Adam Fields, Merle dogs were first documented in the 16th century. Okay. I would dare to say that they've been around longer than that because nature did it, right? But with that being said, nature had a reasoning as to why they did them. And also nature had a reasoning as to when Merles and Merles got together, they were making blind and deaf puppies that ended up getting killed because they just couldn't make it through life. Those were, one of the basic things that they needed. Nicola says, have you heard of the bully named Crown? I have not. I might have came across them. I have a better photo memory than I do a name memory. I might have come across the dog, but just don't know off the top of my head. Nubla said, what's sad with some of these lies, common research would clear a lot of this up, which is something anyone should do when gets a dog or getting into breeding. I couldn't agree with you more. Here's what I want everybody that's watching right now to write, agree or disagree. And this is what I'm going to say right now. What I have found in the American Bully community that rings the most for the last 10 years is that if it's popular enough, it is normalized and accepted. Whether it's legal, whether it's ethical, whether it's moral, you can grab all that, put it in a bag and throw it in the trash. If it's popular enough, if enough people are behind it, talking about it, wanting it, it gets thrown on the back burner and it becomes normalized. Let me know if what I'm saying is true. Louis DeMille says it's always about the dogs and not the dollars. The healthier the pup, not the bigger the buck. Well, Louis DeMille, in this community, in this platform right now, that's what we believe in. But we do know we are the minority in this vast American Bully community. And we know that it's mostly about the dollar out there, right? And so that's why it's important that you guys give us a like, give us a share, give us a comment, push our content out there, right? So we could reach as many people as possible, because at the end of the day, let me tell you what the main driver is for money makers. Mike, I'm going to ask you, what is the main driver for money makers, for breeders that are in here for the money? Is it the registry? Is it other breeders? Or is it the client?
I'd have to put it on the client, man, as much as
it's on the client, bro. Their ignorance level. The more ignorant they are, the easier they are to scam. We already spoke about number one lie on the book is, oh, this is a rare pup because of the coloration. And color does not make a dog better, or it can make them worse, but it doesn't make them better. Let's go to the next one here. Hold on. Sulema says disagree. She disagrees with number 3. SDC says what's up? New blood, disagree. Okay. Prater Kings, number 3. Yeah, give me the number, guys. Number 3, Prater disagrees. JS Bulldogs. Hey, I've got one. I did one on the 4th. Can't wait to confirm mine. Good luck. Hey, man. JS, same to you, man. Best of luck, man. Prater King says that statement is true. You know it. Peter Stoiber says agree. Agree. Are you agreeing on number 3? Merle is accepted by no. I doubt that they're agreeing on number 3. It must have been something else I said. Oh, that statement I said. Never mind. Never mind. Of the normalization. I got you. Insurata says I bred my blue girl Sudphorus again to a local boy this time. I hope she takes. She did not from ship twice. I wish you nothing but the best on that. New Blood says, hit that like button, 39 likes, 81 views. For real, man. We got 108 people up in here. Give me some love. SDBC says, agreed the community is turning their eyes towards the standard for $1. Trey Gamble says,
because if they would look at it with the right perspective, if you'll raise the standard, go by the standard, go by the breed, it'll raise the value of the dogs. But you know, hey, but if you chase the dollar first, it doesn't work out. So I don't know.
I hear you, man. Trey says, I just want to say thank you, QBN, for everything you do. I've been following you for the last 5 years. Number love, man. Appreciate you. Give us a share. Give us a like. Give us a comment. New Blood Kennels, 80 views. Nicholas Garcia's, would you ever breed blueberry with sunshine? Nicholas Garcia, you could bet your last dollar that I'm going to make that happen, bro. I guarantee it. Joe Blow says, what up, hermano? You have beautiful animal. Awesome work. Thank you. New Blood, I'm praying for you and Serata. That's what I'm talking about. Think they're agreeing on the first half of number 3. Yeah, because I kind of threw that curveball. I got it, man. Salute QBN from Bully Nation. QBN, do you think non-Merle puppy litters are more consistent than Merle litters puppies when it comes to quality? Listen,
I kind of answered that with the first question.
I think Merles are coming around. I think any line based on whatever, it's going to take time because the American Bully non-Merle, right, has been bred for 30 years now. Now, don't get me wrong. Even Dave Wilson said Merles were around back then, right? But I'm talking about exclusively. We can say that non-Merles have been bred far more than Merles. So all I'm going to say is they coming around. That's what I'm going to say. Agree on normalization of what's popular. Yeah. Breeding to the breed standards will never go out of style. The fads come and go. Agreed. Lamont Bonner, what is a good filler for dog food when you home cook it for 2 dogs? I don't know. Filler. You see, that's such a vague question. But you're asking for a vague question, so I'm going to give you a vague answer. Rice is great. Right? Except if
potatoes,
except if your dog has allergies or a yeast infection, right? But you didn't ask that. You asked what's a good filler. I just gave it to you. Camria says, good evening, guys. Nice meeting you this weekend. Michael, Camria Prairian. There you go. Nicholas Garcia, by when would that breeding come around? I don't know, Nicholas. Let me get to the next question. I'll let you know as soon as, I don't know, a couple months before that breeding happens, all right? Just to be fair. Next one that we're going to be hitting, right? Next one that we're going to be hitting is papers, Mike. Papers means the dog is legit. Papers means the dog is legit. Guys, listen closely to this because this right here is one of the biggest fallacies, lies, myths, untruths that people get hoodwinked on and scammed on all the time. Let me tell you this, and let me be perfectly clear. Papers does not make a dog, first of all. Second of all,
people don't want to believe that a dog can be papered and it be illegitimate.
Well, let me tell you guys so we can get into this so you could understand where that left hook is coming from. Because a lot of y'all You're over here sucking on a lollipop and you get left hooked because you don't even see it coming. I'm going to let you guys know, a lot of times, some big breeders, when you're paying for that stud fee money, Mike, at $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, and even $20,000 at times, guess what, Money Mike? You ain't getting that stud sperm. You think you are, because that's what you paid for. That's what your intention was. But you see, your intention does not mean that's that other dude's intention. Whenever you're dealing with a sire, I don't care how good that stud is, you need to take your blinders off and you need to take a look at the man or woman behind that stud. If they're a scam, you will never get that dog sperm. I don't care how much money you pay.
Sound like you need a third-party tester.
You may need a third-party tester, which is funny. We brought it up to Dave Wilson when he was here last year. I told him straight up, man, you need a third-party testing, bro. And Dave is like, what for? We have ABKC testing here, and we do it ourselves. Okay, great. That is third-party testing. But definitely you need it, because in this community, I'm going to tell you guys something that you need to hear, but not that you want to hear. And I have nothing against anybody that has been incarcerated. There has been many people that have been incarcerated and turned their lives around. But there has also been a lot of people that have been incarcerated that have kept doing the same BS out here. And I'm just keeping it real with you. If somebody is emphasizing that the paperwork is there, so you should accept terms because the dog is legit because the paperwork is there, that's a major red flag. Don't get me wrong. The dog needs the paperwork, but the paperwork does not make the dog legit. You could hang paperwork, and this community knows very well that hanging paperwork is something that I would dare to say, if you ask me, and I don't know what the numbers are, I haven't done the research. If you ask me, Raul, what are the numbers on hung papers? I would say minimum 30%. Minimum 30% of the dogs out there.
I would dare to say that 28% of that 30% coming from the top of the food chain. And I would dare to say those are the same people that have a lot to say about not genetic testing.
Exactly. I'm going to tell you guys this. I'm going to tell you this, man. And by the way, Prater, nothing but love, my dude, NWA, my dude, Joe Church, man. What's up, bro? Listen, I'm going to tell you guys something that you need to hear, not that you want to hear. The bigger the breeder, the more leverage they have on you, the more shit they're going to try and get away with. Bottom line.
Twist the narrative, right?
I'm letting you know. In fact, some of them become arrogant enough that they'll come out here and tell you, you could breed Merle to Merle because Merle is a color and look you straight in the eye, knowing damn well you're not supposed to breed Merle to Merle.
Yeah. Yeah. Feed them chocolate too. Why not?
And feed them chocolate too. We do it all the time. Oh, no, because my book is from another language. You see, it's another language. And because we speak another language, it's okay. You can do it. You see how that goes, right? So, listen, I have to say that, guys. I know I'm not trying to be funny, but I do have sarcastic humor, or at least I think I do. And for me, when I see somebody just being that arrogant and lying to you straight to your face, it just tells me the level of ignorance that is out there from buyers who walk in, get sideswiped because whatever glows, it should be good. And that's not necessarily how it works. Real quick, RMB Kennel says, you ever have people buy dogs from you and later on find out they died? Yes, unfortunately, I have. Sadly, I saw, and I think I've said this story, Mike. I've said it several times. I had a guy that bought a puppy from me, and this dude, I don't know. Again, in this community, a lot of people buy dogs because it's an accessory. It says you belong to a clan. It says you have status. This dude, I don't know what he was thinking. This pup was 6 months old. He was having it jump into the back of his truck. He had a dually and jump out. By the time the pup had 10 months old, roughly, his wife was pregnant. Dog was shivering in a corner. She went to touch the dog. Dog snapped at her. He didn't get to bite her, but he snapped at her. Dude took the dog to the vet. Ends up the dog has hip dysplasia. He's calling me up talking about my dog has dysplasia. You did this. You see how ignorance just leads from one ignorant decision to the next, to the next, to the next. Luckily for him, after I had a conversation with him, he obviously he didn't want to hear it from me. He was down, $6,000. He didn't want to hear from me. I was the scumbag scammer that took his money and this and that. And I told him, I said, listen, don't take it from me. Okay, do yourself a favor and go talk to vets. Okay, at the time, the biggest, the main tester out there was OFA testing. And if you know anything about OFA testing, they require for your dog to be 2 years old, right? Pen hip, I'm not saying it wasn't around at that time. It just wasn't popular enough at that time. And he went around, asked around. This is why I tell people everything I'm talking about, fact check it. Asked around, and they pretty much told them, they're like, first of all, if no other puppy in the litter had hip dysplasia, if the parents didn't have hip dysplasia, was the puppy limping when you got him? No, he limped one time when he jumped off the dually. Okay. And so, yeah, I mean, this dude was out in left field.
I've heard it all, Raul. I tell you, it only about a 5-second story, but I heard at the show this weekend, we had a great time, and I heard a pretty wild one. This lady calls the person she brought this bulldog from 4.5 years ago, and says, "Hey, this damn dog I bought from you 4.5 years ago, the son of a bitch bit me. What are you gonna do about it?" I said, "What do you mean? Yeah. What am I gonna do about it?"
Yeah, the temperament is offline. Right. Yeah, it's unbelievable sometimes. Guys, real quick, and I don't want to take from your story, but
No, that's it.
RNB Kennels 845 says Nuvet work wonders for my bullies. Guys, all I'm going to tell you, everything is above. All I'm going to tell you, man, Nuvet is what real breeders use. Bottom line, whether you're trying to fix East Westy code issues, having to have your dog have better health. Hell, I even had somebody hit me up. I don't know how true this is. I got to look it up. But they were telling me their dog had a heart murmur by the time they were 7 months. It was stage 1, nothing out of this world. Put them on Nuvet. Within 2 months, heart murmur was gone. Even the doctors were like shocked. So, hey, just keeping it real with you, man. Let's keep this ball rolling, man. We got a bunch of comments coming in. I'm loving it. D. Taylor saying, I had a buyer buy 2 pups, pet home 1, passed from drinking antifreeze. Had the nerve to ask me if I could help breed the other one because she misses having them both. Showed me a lot. Yeah, man. Human beings, man, we always leave many things to be desired. It is unfortunate. I will tell you this, just to come back around to that question. If you ever ask a breeder if they sold a dog and it died and the answer is no, either they have never had a litter or they're straight up lying to you. Bottom line, it is unfortunate, but there are just so many variables. It happens man. Even to the best of us. I'm just keeping it real with you. Let me go to the next one here. Pocket is a different build. In fact, somebody, again, I saw the message saying that the Pocket was really a different breed within the American Bully. Now, you have heard me say here in the past, and I'll say it now, okay, that Pockets definitely have less Mastiff than the XLs do, right? Because the XLs, Mastiffs were introduced to XLs in order to get a larger dog. But here's the thing. Even though American Bullies, one of the things that makes our breed so distinct is that we have different classes, right? The other thing is, it is true that I have said and will continue to say that Pockets have a different gene pool than say XLs do. But make no mistake about it. The standard states that pockets need to be smaller than standards and XLs have to be larger than standards, and never says that they're different breed. They're supposed
the only
to
thing
look,
that separates them is their height. That's it.
that's it.
Their height, and then in the case of classic and standard, it's the width. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now we know what we look at is a little different, but that's what the standard says.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. So if somebody is trying, because this person, the person that was selling the pocket, was trying to make it seem like the pocket was a whole different breed within itself because he was trying to leverage it into a sale. Bottom line is that is not true. Okay. Bottom line is pockets are held to the same standard as a standard that are held to the same standard as an XL. Are we all there yet? No, we're not. And I'm also going to say this because I'm not an expert in Rottweilers, but this past weekend, I saw some Rottweilers that looked more like Doberman to me. And the person showed me everything, including the AKC paperwork and their, I may be mistaken, but they're in some sort of club that the dog has to be accepted by the club in order to be bred. And I kid you not, this had to be the closest thing to a Greyhound or a Doberman I've ever seen in a Rottweiler. So just keeping it real with you, it's not just our breed.
This is where education comes in, man. Y'all have got to learn what's going on around you, or you will be hoodwinked.
Yes.
You will get the wool pulled over your eyes if you don't know. And as soon as they ask you a few questions, they know you don't have any education, and they're going to get you.
Well, it has a lot to do with the fact that breeding doesn't have to be our breed. It could be any breed. Breeding has more to do with it being a cash business. And the majority of people, first of all, have never had a business, much less a cash business, much less an asset. Okay. And a lot of people, they will either overly protect the asset or underly protect it, but they won't keep it where it needs to be. And when I mean the asset, I'm talking about the dog that's able to reproduce and make money for you, whether they're studying or having puppies for you. So, but we're not going to get into all that. I just wanted to say pockets have to meet the same standard as any other class within the American Bully. They are not a different breed. Do they have a different gene pool? I would say yes. I can't disagree with that. I've stated that. You put a pocket next to an XL and they just don't look the same. And that's precisely why I pivoted 2 years ago, because I'm trying to get these XLs to look like an American Bully, like that drawing the ABKC has on there, right?
You and me both.
Yeah. So, yeah, there ain't too many American Bullies, running around looking like that picture. So let's go to the next one here. I'm going to skip over a couple statement, guys. Sorry. Here we go. Breathing issues are normal. Extreme is the goal. Listen, bro, this happened this weekend. I couldn't believe it until I saw it written on the text. It pretty much said breathing issues are normal. Okay. The word when should have been there. When extreme is the goal. So my question is, should we be breeding to extreme then? Because I'm going to tell you guys something you probably don't know. Because a lot of you are going to want to breed to extreme because what you're thinking is the more extreme, the more moolah. Here's the kicker. When a dog has difficulty breathing, the heart must work harder. Okay? So recently, in the past 6 months, this way I'm not pointing the finger at no one dog, I've seen quite a few dogs die. I'm talking about within 3 years of age, they're dying, they're croaking, they're not making it, right? So here's the deal. A male dog is in his prime, at least for the American Bully, that is, at 3. That's when you're hitting your prime. and you're dying, and you got this following behind the dog because what? What I don't comprehend is that you, as a client, as a buyer, as a new breeder, as somebody that's coming in, you found out this dog died at 3 years of age, and you take whatever cockamamie story the breeder wants to say happened. Let me ask you this. If that dog had heart issues, do you think the breeder's going to come out and say, oh yeah, he died because he was born with a heart murmur, stage 4. We bred the hell out of him. He died at the age of 3. Do you think they're going to say that? These are the same guys telling you could breed Merle to Merle and you can feed a dog chocolate.
I tell you what, the deeper I get into breeding, the more, you know, I go places and meet all these people and stuff, and I hear all these things, man, and people message me about stuff. And I tell you what, there's a lot of breeders that know their dogs have major health issues, and they're studying them all over the world anyway. They don't give a shit. And it's really sad because it's very unethical, man. And it's what burns people and gets them so confused. And you got all these unhealthy dogs. And then you got people like you're talking about that, you know, they're culling 8 out of 10 dogs anyway. What do they care? You know? It's really,
I even had one of them quote Hitler on the line.
I think we're talking about the same person.
So look, all I'm going to say is this. If you see a dog in its prime that everybody's buying dogs off of him and he's dying at 3, what the fuck? Like, what needs to go through your head? Oh no, he was struck by a car. Let me tell you something. Think about this for a minute, man. Some of these studs are making 6 figures in a year. I guarantee if a stud is making 6 figures, there's no way in hell that dog's ever going to set foot on a street. I can guarantee you that. Oh, he passed away. He choked on a stick. Really? Really? I mean, some of y'all, I know we're doing this and we're trying to educate people, but some people, bro, some of y'all are I don't know what it is. If it's a status thing, you don't care as long as you get a dog from that so you could have that type of status because you need it. Some people need that. Mike, some people need it. I remember back in the day when I was in school, there was this dude, and I have nothing against people that are short, but he was a midget. He used to wear boots that were about yay big, right? And any style that would come out, he would always be the first person wearing either that style of jeans or hat or whatever, because he needed that. And I get it. Some people need it. But do you need it at the cost of breeding dogs that are going to die at the age of 3? Are you seriously going to invest $6,000, $8,000 in a dog who is the son of a dog that died by the age of 3? I mean, I don't know, man. I know we talking, bro, and I know they hearing, but they just ain't listening, bro. They just ain't listening. Yeah, Peter Stover saying people breed the pictures even if it's obvious the structure is horrible. There you go. Louis DeMille, well, if that be the case, then why continue to breed the American Bully the way that we breed them if they're so unhealthy and is prone to health issues and won't produce longevity? Listen, Louis, here's the deal, bro.
They're not prone. It has to do with unethical breeding. It's not. There's nothing wrong with the breed. It's people taking unhealthy dogs and breeding them to unhealthy dogs. People cutting corners and breeding too tight and breeding Merle to Merle. This is the problem. The problem is not the breed itself. American bullies are not unhealthy by breed.
It's also the amount. Stuff. How about the amount of inbreeding, Mike?
Yeah, everybody blood too tight, you know.
Yeah. My point is everybody wants to inbreed everything. And it's like, dude, do you even, what's your dog's koi? What is that? Like, are you serious?
We're talking about inbreeding. You're not even knowing what your dog's koi is.
Basic genetic testing, anything. Does your dog carry anything? They don't know. They don't care. It's about the money.
Here's something I figured out that I would hand this gem to everybody. This is a gift for everybody. If you're talking to a big name breeder and you know they're probably making 6 figures on this stud, and you ask for an embark test and they don't have it, they're an unethical breeder. Period. Because the embark's $110, and if they're not spending that, and they got puppies going all over the world, they're unethical. And
I've been saying that they're selling pups at $6K, $10K, $15K, and you don't have an embark. It's not that you don't believe in embark; it's that you already saw the embark, and you don't want the world to see what your dog has under the hood, because then you wouldn't be able to make the 6 figures. I mean, that's what it comes down to, man. Let's get on with the next one. This one, I was actually surprised, but bigger is always better. So the guy was actually asking this breeder, because the breeder's selling point is, oh, I have 3 studs, and I make over 6 figures on all 3, and I can believe it. I can believe it, especially the way these sheep are running after all these breeders. But it turns out that the guy is telling this guy to buy the biggest pocket. So this guy came to me on a consult, and I told him, dude, that dog has a little bit longer limbs than you want for what you're looking for, because he wanted something very compact. The breeder's response was, bigger is always better, right? And my thing is, and I'm more on the XL side than I am on the pocket side, right? But bigger is not always better. In fact, I have found that bigger on the XL side of the house typically is not better. You're going to find XLs that are going to be closer to conformity at 20.5 to 21 inches at withers than you ever will an XL at 23 or 24 inches, bro.
That's right. I mean, it's because of the Mastiff. When they built the XL and they were trying to make these big dogs, these 23, 25 inch dogs, and that was the hype. They threw all this massive influence in there. The dogs got huge, brought in all these all this bad breed type. And so if you want a dog that has a preferable conformation show breed type to the standard, it's going to have to be closer to the bottom side of the line of inches allowed in that class of American Bully.
Bingo. I totally agree. And I agree with Sulema Santiago. I disagree that bigger is better. In fact, when I pivoted, I decided I want nothing bigger than 21. And to be actually perfectly honest with you, I don't want anything really over 20.5. I want it to where when you wicket him, there's no way around it. You can't kick him out. He is an XL, right? I don't want him right at 20, because then they're able to kind of play you there. But at 20.5, and you're nice and conformed and balanced, you're gonna kick some tail in the ring. So just wanted to throw that out there. New Blood says disagree because you can lose sight of the breed type because you get distracted by bigger. Of course. And that's what happened with XLs. Everybody started going after what was popular. Bigger is better. And that's what they went after. And here we are 20, 30 years into this. And we're like, at least for me anyways, I'm completely pivoting, or I've completely pivoted, because I've said it here 100 times. Mastiff blood, in my opinion, is stickier than terrier blood, and terrier blood is sticky. So we'll leave it at that. Let's go to the next one. Number 8, you need alpha dominance tactics. So this is a good one. This is a good one because my name was even brought up into this. There's a group somewhere on Facebook where somebody was saying the dog was not following instruction. Simple, basic instructions. There was no such thing as recall. So the dog leaves and you call it, rather than coming to you, it just keeps going, doing whatever it wants. And somebody decided, hey, QBN Kennel talks about the alpha hierarchy within the dog pack. You need alpha dominance. You need to be dominant with the alpha. Which, let me say something just so we could all be on the same page. I'm not a trainer. I've never said to be a trainer. I'm able to identify what an alpha is in my yard, and we have an alpha female in the yard that actually keeps everybody in check. Okay. I have in no terms or in any moment have I told anyone that you need to manhandle a dog, much less a dog that has alpha traits. If you know anything about training, and I don't, but I have friends that do, you do not manhandle a dog that has alpha traits. That's the fastest way to get your ass bit. All right. And maybe even worse. So just keeping it real with you. I don't know how that got misconstrued into you need to manhandle the dog. For me, I have always said when I go to pick a pup, the first thing I look at is temperament. And if the dog is an alpha, I probably don't want it. And you're probably thinking, why? Because a dog that's an alpha, first of all, is independent. You're going to have to spend a lot more time training that dog in order to get it to follow your instructions, because naturally it's going to be independent. And you can tell when they're puppies. Whenever you let all the puppies out in the yard, that one puppy that goes out on its own and could care less what everybody else is doing, that's usually the alpha. And it's going to be very hard for you to hone that in with a lot of people having a 8-hour, 10-hour, they're 8 or 10 hours out of the house every day. Alphas, you got to put in some time. You see, the betas, they're looking to please you, to make you happy, to fill your cup of water. An alpha could care less. And the last thing you want to do to an alpha is manhandle them, because you may trigger something inside of that dog that once you do trigger it, you're going to hate the fact that you triggered it. Let me just leave it at that. Anything you want to add to that, Mike?
No, I would say that just much like people that you can control something and be in charge of it with fear, but it's much better to do it with respect. If the dogs respect you, they'll listen to you. If they fear you, they may listen to you as well, but it's not the same. They'll run from you. They won't come back to you, and they don't respect you. So you're gonna have problems.
I couldn't agree with you more. New Blood says, slight disagree. You need a relationship with the dog before having dominance with the dog. Not understanding the dog and having a relationship of understanding is a mutual thing with you most dominant. Okay, yeah, no, I think we agree. I think you might have either misunderstood. New Blood says your most dominant dog, you need to have a more mutual understanding relationship. Okay, I see where you're with that dog. You don't suppress that dog's dominance, but work with it around its respect. Absolutely. I don't know if I misstated what I wanted to say, but I agree with what you just said here 100%. I'm with you. You go with the current, and you could have the canoe go left or go right. But if you try going up against the current, you're going to have a hard time. So, yeah, man, I agree with you. Let's get here to the next one. Health problems are just part of breeding or part of the breed. Health problems, Mike, that's just part of the breed. Part of breeding. Hey, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to sell you a dog with kidney issues because it's part of the breed. That's how you learn.
We embark everything over here. That's just how we do it. And we're 25 in a row in, and we don't have any health problems. So it's not just a part of the breed. It can't be, because I'm 25 away from it right now. So, and I know Raul is a lot more than that. So I don't think it's a part of the breed. I think it's a part of the wrong part of the breeding community.
I think it's part of the excuse. It's part of the selling point. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah, there's problems, and that's just what it is. So be it. Some good, some bad, I guess.
Yeah. So I'll show you guys something. Right. Next time you have a guy telling you it's part of the breed. You can refer to this screen right here, all the way over here in the bottom. You see 1 of 60 of 81. We've embarked 81 dogs, and we're going to embark more. Every time we have a litter, we embark a dog. My question to you to ask that one breeder, you could bring up my name if you want, is why is Raul able to do it and you can't? Why is Mike over here pretty much, he's no longer a brand spanking new breeder, but a newer breeder, Mike was able to do it and you can't? That's the question you need to ask.
Because it ain't can't, it's won't.
And when they start cursing you out and telling you, screw you, you're not getting my puppy from me and this and that, man, trust you me. That's the best response you could get, because the reason you're getting that is because they can't respond. That's basically why it's happening. New Blood says, I didn't realize we're talking about a dominant dog is all. No, you're good. You're good. No worries. Health problems should never be a part of breeding. Absolutely. If you have a health problem, you shouldn't be breeding it, period. That's just the bottom line. This is why you want a health test, so you don't create more health problems than they're already there, right?
Suleiman disagrees. When you become a breeder, that whether you want to be ethical or not, and if you don't, you shouldn't be breeding. That's it. You know.
Yeah. Look, I hate to agree with Smokewell bullies. If it's real American bully, it shouldn't be a problem. But once again, most folk don't know what's in their pedigrees.
Whoa.
And it's sad, but he's right. Right? Louis DeMille says, so do you embark a dog out of every litter, or do you embark every dog in every litter? I embark every single dog in every single litter.
Every single dog that I have is embarked. Puppies, yes. Adults, everybody.
That's how we do it. If there's a puppy that comes out for whatever reason, there was a mutation that you can't control, and we're able to see it. If the puppy needs to be put down, it will be put down. That breeding will not be repeated, and it allows me to look into either the sire or the dam to figure out what the problem is. And if I'm not able to come up with an answer, then guess what? I don't need to breed to either.
Yep.
That's just the bottom line.
Yep.
Right? So let's see here. Let's get here to number 10, man. I know everybody wants to get number 10. Here we go. If you don't define the dog, the market defines it for you. Do you agree or disagree with that? If you do not define the dog, the market defines it for you.
Well, let's get some clarity. Does that mean that if I don't know what it is that I expect, that the market can take me on a ride?
Kind of. Let me tell you where that's coming from. Where it's coming from is, unfortunately, the market has more power, right? Has more power. So I remember a while back, people were saying, I breed to what I like and not to the standard. Okay. This was an everyday practice before 2020. 2017, 2018, 2019, I'm breeding to what I like. Screw the standard. And at the time, I could sort of understand, and I'll tell you why. Because 2016, 2017, 2018, 19, the breed standard was being changed every 6 months. It was being tweaked. Something was being tweaked about it. So you couldn't look at the breed standard and say there's consistency in what they're asking for, because 6 months from now, there was going to be a tweak. But now we've had at least an illustration of where we should be shooting at for the last 5 years. I would dare to say it has been the most consistent I've seen since I've been around. And that's where this comes in. Okay. So do you feel, Mike, right, that if you don't define the dog, the market will define it for you? So do you feel, Mike, there are dogs out there from very popular breeders that you can tell from a mile away that those dogs do not meet breed standard?
100%.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
That's what that is right there.
Matter of fact, I always tell people, man, best thing you can do, you want to get into this if you can, before you buy a dog, go to a show. And not just any show, go to a bigger show where there's going to be a bunch of dogs, because guess what? none of those dogs are on the internet. You might see them on the internet, but when you see them in person, you'll get a better idea of what a bully is supposed to look like if that's the breed you're interested in. And it'll calibrate your judgment a little bit. Because I've seen so many people go buy dogs and they're telling everybody and they got all their friends tooting their horn, oh, this dog's fire, 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 and all this, right? And then they take it to a show and they don't even get it out of the kennel because they see the other dogs walking around and they're like, I don't want nobody to see my dog.
You brought up a very good point, which is a reason why a lot of major breeders will not take their dogs to a dog show. And that's because the minute they do that, people are going to take pictures and they're going to take videos of their dogs. And that picture, that Photoshop picture that they've been selling you on is really not what the dog looks like. It's more like, that's why I keep telling people, man, dog pictures are a lot like dating site pictures, man. You got to be careful with them dating site pictures, man. I have friends that are, nurses and they're dating and they showed me the dating site picture versus what was there when they showed up. And let me just tell you guys, man, there should be a law or something passed because just, I'm not going to get into that. But my point is, this is why you need to follow. You need to follow breeders that actually show their dogs on video and that are showing it consistently, not just once every blue moon when it's convenient. There are dogs out there that are popular. I don't want to state the names, but they're dogs that have been super popular. Their pictures have been reproduced millions, if not billions of times. And that one female dog I'm talking about that's very muscled up, her picture has been around for over 10 years at this point, I want to say, or close to it. I've never seen a side stack, nor have I ever seen her in movement. I don't know how you get billions of pictures and millions of followers and millions of pictures off of, off of one picture, one front picture, not just front picture. We're going to come from the bottom up. You see, a lot of y'all, what you really need to do is take a photography class, because once you take a photography class, then you're going to know what the person behind the camera is trying to hide based on the angles they consistently take the pictures of their dogs.
Raul, that was so good, man. I think you need to say that one more time. That's something that needs to be repeated because,
yes,
I tell you what, that's a big one.
You take a simple, and I'm not even talking about going to school for this. Go on YouTube and take a 10-minute basic photography class and apply the consistent angles that they're talking about into people who are consistently taking pictures in those angles, and you're going to know exactly what they're trying to hide. I consistently see a particular pocket breeder consistently taking pictures of his dog on slanted ground, and you see all these seals clapping it up, and I'm like, what? This some shit?
It's terrible, man. A buddy of mine, he's in the comments tonight. He sent me a picture of the dog. The guy had a pocket standing in a hole. He's in a hole. You can't even see his toes. He's in a hole. He's literally in a hole, and he's barely got a straight back. Even then.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. But listen, we're not going to elongate this anymore tonight. Make sure. And we're probably going to be dropping a live on Photoshop and how to pick shit up, because the type of shit that people be doing out here, I'm telling you, 90% of these dogs out here are not who they are not who you think they are. Nice. Look at those people that are constantly just posting pictures and never post a video. And if they post a video, they're holding the puppy in the air, or the dog is in slanted ground, or is standing on a log, or anything like that, but they never going to put them on straight cement, right? Never give you that side shot, that front shot. They're just never going to do that.
And remember this, an ethical breeder. Now, say you're a decent breeder and you got a lot of people calling you about pups. You can't always cater to everybody depending on how big a scale we got going on. But if a breeder knows you're serious about getting a puppy and you can't get a little something extra to show you what you want to see, of that dog if they don't already have it on their website or their page. If you say like, hey, you don't have any shots of the dog's rear, there's no shots there, and you can't get one, you got the wrong guy.
It's the wrong guy. And trust you me, guys. Trust you me. This is the last thing I'm gonna leave you with. The money, okay, the leverage is with the money. Don't forget that. That dude over there telling you, yeah, you can breed Merle to Merle and feed it chocolate. That's just a talking clown until he's got your money in his hands. Once he does, he's got the leverage. You got the leverage to do your homework before that. Real quick, Money Mizak started up, man. We're heading out of here tonight. I hope you guys learned something. We had fun. Give us a like, give us a comment, give us a share. And don't forget, man, if you're having easty-westy issues, skin issues, you got to use the supplement that real breeders use. Nuvet NuJoint DS. There's our code. You get 13% off with auto ship. Bringing my dude from the back, Hollywood. Break it down, Hollywood.
It's your boy Hollywood Holland, your boy in the back of the queue. We're catching you on the next one.
Michael Higginson.
Money Mike out of Arkansas, man. QBN Kennel here with my little boy Pinkerton, man. Remember the name. We'll be catching y'all on the next one.
There you go. Hey, guys, you already know we do this every Monday at 8 p.c.st. We keep it live. We keep it real. I'm not reading a book to answer you. It's all coming from up here. It's been Ralph in the queue. I'll be catching you on.
We are going for a whole hour. Straight dog talk and the song. Jump on in and speculate. Show up on time. Don't be weak and late. We are community, so don't hate.